They say Central City is a haven for the unpredictable, home to both saviors and predators. And most days people go about their routines, never asking where the thunder in the sky comes from. But tonight, the city feels different. It's electric, tense, like the calm before a tornado touches down. You see, the rogues aren't what you'd call typical supervillains. They don't yearn for world conquest or want to paint the streets red. They're blue-collar in their ambition, thieves, tricksters, a cadre of flawed adults working under self-imposed rules. No killing, no unnecessary cruelty. Get in, get out, split the score, and make it to the next day. Captain Cold, Mirror Master, Heat Wave, Weather Wizard, and Golden Glider, they know there's always a bigger storm on the horizon. Tonight, the storm's name is Zoom. He's everything they're not. Where their crimes run on logic, his chaos is pure speed and terror. Eobard Thawne, a demon in blue lightning, has burned his way through time and left nothing but fear in his wake. He's obsessed with the Flash, the city's scarlet hope, but lately, he's taken a new interest. The rogues themselves. It started small. A heist went sideways. Mirror Master slipped through a grid of laser beams, only to emerge from his reflective gateway face to face with a burned-in afterimage. A black-suited speedster. It's vibrating with menace. The loot was already gone, replaced with a mocking scrap of yellow. That was the message. They had a new problem. At first, the rogues did what they always do. They laid low, meeting in the darkest corners of bars nobody sane would enter. They planned, they argued, and around a crowded table with stolen beers, they debated running for good. Except running was a fool's game. City was theirs, in a way. They knew the streets and secret passages. Besides, there was an even greater insult at play. Zoom had robbed them. It wasn't about the money. It was about pride. So Captain Cold set new rules. The rogues don't take orders, but tonight they'd follow his lead. His gun had stopped the Flash many times. Maybe it could slow down something even faster. Weather Wizard mapped a storm above the city, insulating an abandoned train depot in static and cloud cover a trap within a trap. Heat Wave rigged corridors with chemical accelerants. Mirror Master painted escape routes along every reflective surface, doors to nowhere for everyone except the right hands. Golden Glider, ever the wild card, went looking for Zoom, herself a decoy, maybe, but also bait he couldn't resist. Midnight came, and the city's pulse shifted. The air crackled cold. Within the depot, the rogues waited, nerves wound tight as clockwork. Then, as clockwork strikes, the world shattered. It was already inside. Zoom didn't break down the door, simply existed one blink. He wasn't there the next, he was. Blue lightning splintered the shadows, and electricity danced up Spivet Street, setting alarms off citywide. The rogues weren't ready, but then, nobody ever is. Cold moved first, firing a stream of absolute zero, the room crystallizing into a winter tomb. In the frozen arc, Zoom twisted, vibrating through ice, ignoring physics as bullets ignored wind. Heatwave unleashed his answer columns of angry flames sweeping left and right, but fire only made him faster. Glass shimmered. Glass shimmered. Mirror Master pulled the trigger on a dozen calculations, fragmenting Zoom's path, boxing him into a maze made of his own velocity. For one breath, the speedster stumbled as the dimension twisted. Golden Glider, skating on frictionless light, zipped close enough to touch. Her weapon turned air to shards, and Zoom's speed faltered. A flicker too fast to see, and suddenly Weather Wizard's storm dropped, thunder booming on command. Electricity raced through steel girders, surging to every corner of the depot. The rogues braced, shielded by architecture and luck. Zoom, who'd always outrun bullets and lightning, caught a taste of his own predicament. He sizzled, slowed, gnawed, stopped, but hurting. This was what the rogues did best. Not winning, but surviving. Together. They pressed their advantage. He'd seared frostbit. Storms howled, and mirrors formed an infinite labyrinth to corral the monster. But Zoom was evolution in motion. His laughter a broken, metallic thing echoed as he blurred. Mirror after mirror shattered. Cold's gun emptied. Gosh! Heatwave's tanks wheezed. You can't cage a hurricane. All you can do is weather it. In the end, injured but unbowed, the rogues cut their losses. They dove through mirrored exits, fled into the frozen, rain-soaked night. Zoom stood alone amid wreckage, breath ragged, blue lightning dying in his veins. He was hurting, maybe, but so were they. Nobody won. Not really. But the rogues were proof that in Central City, survival is sometimes all the victory you get. The next morning, headlines read only of destruction, another night of weather gone wrong, and the city's mysterious, masked criminals vanishing once more. And somewhere beneath those streets, Captain Cold nursed a bruise, eyes cold as the weapon he carried. The rogues lived on. And so did Zoom. The war hadn't ended. Carefully counted, the days to the next storm were already running out.